So we will get started as soon as more people get here. So I am currently banned on TikTok for harassment and bullying for talking about uh, the same thing about the Nashville shooting, which isn't really cool of them. But now I will just wait until some people get on, and we'll continue talking. Well, I guess I could talk in. Hey there, how is your night going? I see a couple people came in. Not sure who yet. It's been a minute since I've been on. There you guys all are. You just remember to check on here. I literally just got on. So hello everyone. How is y'all's night going? I am currently banned on TikTok from live streaming for talking about what we're going to be talking about tonight. They banned me for harassment and bullying when I did neither of the things, and uh, then I lost the appeal. So here we are. Yes, thank you, Shannon. I appreciate it. It's been a really heavy cloud here. Like it's tough. Like it's our community, and I do have to hand it to Nashville Metro or Metro Nashville PD. They were amazing in getting the situation neutralized as quickly as they did. So, what exactly did I do? Karen, I will be honest with you. I did not do anything, but one of the conversations that we were talking about, because obviously with this going on, is stricter regulations around guns. And a lot of people don't like talking about that. And so I got mass reported for harassment and bullying, and TikTok upheld it. That's what happened. Um, yeah, that's what I did apparently. So yes, it's been very challenging here. Our governor is not really doing anything about it. Although he was, I don't know if any of y'all saw the video I posted um, about it, but our governor Bill Lee, his family was directly impacted, meaning that apparently his wife Cindy Peak, who was the substitute teacher who was killed, um, and the headmaster Catherine Kuntz, they were all very good friends and had been friends for decades. And the substitute teacher, Cindy, was actually supposed to go to their house that night, last night, and have dinner. Didn't make that. So I would say that maybe that this hit closer to home, maybe he would do something, but I truly highly doubt it. Um, all right, a couple things here. That is how trained police do their job. Absolutely. When you look at what happened in Uvalde and you look at how Nashville PD, everything that I have seen that Nashville Metro has done with this has been amazing. Um, especially for such a horrific situation, they really handled themselves and handled the situation phenomenally. The two police officers that went in there and just ran up those stairs like absolutely fearless. They're taking today off to decompress, but they were incredible. I have zero complaints. There are times where you see these situations and you can really criticize law enforcement for what they did or what they didn't do. But in this particular case, these guys did amazing. And I want to make sure I get their names right because they definitely deserve credit. Give me one second here. I'm going to pull it up. Let me see if I can find it. Where are they? So the two people where are they? I can't remember what their names are. I have to might look in a little bit. I don't want to keep y'all like just staring, but and I'll find them. I'll find them, and we'll talk about them. We'll give them. I would actually rather do that when I can put a picture of them up. So again, yes, me too, Lars. Thank you, and good to see you as well. And no, I'm currently banned on TikTok at the moment from at least from a lot from live streaming. So so let's talk about what some of y'all wanted to talk about. Let me scroll up here a little bit. Because I think that we do need to have a conversation about this because people are tired of this. See, so Adria said two officers were shot in Huntsville tonight. That's terrible. Are they do you know if they're doing okay? Like how were they killed? Are they injured? Are they, how are they doing? Um, so crazy we need to talk about guns. People are worried about TikTok, but not guns. And if only our 911 protocol was more emergent when reporting mental health concerns. So we have a few things that I want to talk about here. Thank you, Officer Rex Engelbert and Officer Michael Colazzo. Thank you so much, Ashley, for pulling those names up. One was a 4-year veteran of the force, and one of them is a 9-year veteran of the force. And yes, so um, they had a civil at a shooting, or at if I can try to look for that information and maybe do something on it because I think that deserves coverage. Why am I banned? Because people have snowflake feelings when you talk about guns, apparently. Critical condition, life-threatening injuries, only update so far. Oh, that's terrible. I hope that they're okay. Policeman, it's I you couldn't pay me enough to do their job. My husband's PD every 6 months. They medical school staff trained reality. Sad reality, but awesome to see that everyone on the same page and working diligently together. It's in California, a Sikh shooting. Okay. Yeah, I like it better here too. I don't have as many people here. Like right now, I think there's 34 people in here where I'm used to having like hundreds of people. But that's okay. This is a much more chill environment. And you know what? If TikTok gets banned, there's going to be a whole lot more here. This is the platform that I'm going to favor if that happens. So let's talk about a few things here because I think that there's a few important things that y'all have brought up that I think that we should chat about. So first, let's talk about before get to any gun talk. Let's talk about what Shannon said. Let me see if I can throw this up here. I want to show this up here. There we go. See, this is why I love YouTube. I can do this stuff. Um, so a lot of people, and I've talked about this in the past. So when a lot of people have talked about um, defund the police, they misunderstand, and I think maybe it's because the way the what it's called defund the police is very misleading. It just makes it sound like um, I don't like Clapper. I mean, I post on it, but it's very hit and miss. But anyways, I'm gonna stop reading for a second and answer this for you guys. But anyways, I talked about defund the police before, and I used to think the same way that most people did, which is this means takes away money from the police. We're going to lose law enforcement, et cetera, et cetera. That is not what it means at all. What it means is it takes some of the funds from it and allocate it towards mental health professionals within the force to help respond to things that could be a mental health challenge and a concern. Now, in this particular situation, there would be nothing that one of them could do in that particular um, in this situation, this person had their mind made up. They had already made the decision that this is what they were going to do. So bringing out a mental health professional at that stage in the game would have done nothing because by the time law enforcement got there, she had already committed this heinous, horrific act. Um, but in areas where they have taken some funds and allocated it towards mental health professionals, psychiatrists on the force, people to help deal with like domestic violence phone calls and call outs. It's drastically reduced those. It's drastically reduced repeat calls because a lot. Unfortunately, our police are not trained to handle mental health. They don't, to handle mental health challenges, you have to go to school. You have to have a degree or a license or at least training on how to do it. And police don't have that. And it would not make sense to give them a full course that you would give a true mental health professional that can diffuse these situations. It wouldn't make sense. Um, so anyways, I agree. I think that having some mental health professionals in there would be good. And 911, 911's understaffed. The suicide hotline is staffed. So if I don't know if you guys heard about this today, I did do a video on this about roughly 30 minutes before this particular event happened. The shooter, who at this point I'm just going to refer to them as the shooter, um, but the shooter reached out to a former teammate and basically said that they were going to commit suicide that day, yesterday, and that they would see it on the news and everything would make sense, or they would find out reasons or make sense later. Obviously, living, as somebody who lives in Nashville, this is very. We want to know what happened. We want to know the reasons and the motive, behind this. I can venture a guess, and we can circle back to that as to what I think might have happened. It doesn't mean that it excuses the behavior, but it might, you know, might make it. So, anyways, so I do want to get to the gun thing. Democrats are bad at messaging. See, Karen, that's just a very blanket statement. There are a lot of people on both sides that are very bad at messaging, and there are a lot of people on both sides that are very good at messaging. To make a blanket statement to just say, "Oh, Democrats are bad," and this is a conversation I had last night. I think this is one of the reasons I got banned last night for this conversation in particular. Um, I learned not as long ago as I should, as I'd like to, I don't like to admit how not as long ago as it should have been, if that makes sense. But I learned that vilifying people just because they are a Democrat. I didn't mean to put that up there. Sorry, Rose. Just that, to vilify somebody or decide that you are just going to blatantly disagree with a person because they identify as liberal or conservative or Democrat or Republican. It's really just silly, and it's a divisive tool for our country and for our citizens to make sure that we do not work in a. Oh, I got what you're saying, Karen. Sorry, I totally misunderstood. I agree with you, 100%. Sorry, totally. Yeah, agree with you, 100%. Terrible slogan. Thank you for correcting. I apologize, but I'm still going to finish this thought because I think it's important. And I at one point finally got, was at a point where I would, my Alyssa and I would have conversations with friends of ours who felt very differently than than us, and we learned that really most people, even if they're on the different side, there's usually a lot of common ground there. Um, People agree with a lot more. Like a lot of a lot of Republicans think that Democrats don't own guns. A lot of Democrats own guns. A lot of Republicans or Democrats think that Republicans don't want gun reform. A lot of Republicans want gun reform. And though the Democrats aren't coming out and saying, "Hey, let's take your guns, let's ban all guns." They're saying, "Hey, let's just make it harder for people who shouldn't have guns get those guns." And a lot of Republicans aren't getting that message and are saying no. And it comes, and the way that it comes off is that, hey, for those people who are like that, it comes off as you value the life of a firearm, or you value the life of fire. You value a firearm over the life of children, and especially when it's a group that has been fighting to an anti-abortion group that's trying to, as they say, save children, to then allow children to die in a classroom and not do anything about it. And again, this is not me telling you which way I believe. I'm just giving you both sides of the coin here on this. um, I think the time delay from telling the person to call the non-emergency line to report concerns 911. So Shannon, I think that you got exactly what I was trying to say. I don't know if you saw the video, but that's exactly what I was trying to say in the video that I did on TikTok about this. Was with me saying that they called the teammate, and the teammate at first asked her father, "What should I do?" Which I think was totally fine. And then within 10 minutes, um, had called the suicide hotline, waited on hold for 7 minutes to be told, "Call the police." So they called the non-emergency police line, and the person came out 6 hours later. Now, that being said, we know now what happened, and but at the time, they didn't know that the person who ultimately did the shooter was the same person that this woman was calling about. And so a 6 hour time frame is bad, and a 7 minute hold time on the suicide hotline is bad, because in 7 minutes somebody could make that decision to take their own life. And I saw somebody else in one of my comments say that they one time waited 45 minutes on that hotline's number to not get any help. So so I agree with you, Shannon. I agree with you 100%. I think that having some mental health professionals tied to 911 would be amazing. I mean, again, not in this particular case. Obviously, it wouldn't be able to help, because by the time again, you did not have much time in this situation. So, and nobody could have predicted that this individual, the shooter, would have done what they did. So, I don't fault this woman who called the suicide hotline and the police. I definitely don't fault the police. I think the police did an incredible job. I will sing their praises from the rooftop. I cannot be happier with the way that Nashville Metro handled this. So, anyways, but I agree with you, is my point. So gun control should not be political. It should be about doing whatever is necessary to save our kids. I agree 100% with that as well. And a lot of things become, Tiffany, a lot of things become political issues that should not become political issues. Um, just because it's like healthcare. Healthcare should not become a political issue. Um, Saving the lives of children, you know, should not be a political issue. So I agree with you. And the thing is, I think There are, look, there's going to be people on both sides who are extreme. You're going to have Democrats that are out there that are going to say, we need to ban all guns. That's just what we need to do. We need to ban all guns. And then you're going to have the rhetoric from a lot of far right conservatives that say, um, it's the same rhetoric you always get. Guns don't kill people, people kill people. Um, you're going to get the Second Amendment, my right. You're going to get more guns in the schools to protect against the guns. And we've learned from Uvalde that it doesn't all the good guys with guns don't always protect the people. So yeah, it is for votes too. I agree with you on that. Um, we've learned that. So, basically, here's my take on it is that I forget the number of guns. I'm going to Google it real quick. It's a staggering amount. How many hold on. Hold, please. Hold on one second. Stop giving me pop-ups. I just want a number, guys. I know it's more than people that we have. Okay, so here's what we know. According to the historical ATF data, more than 465 million firearms have been produced for the U.S. market since 1899. This figure includes imports from foreign gun makers, but excludes exports by domestic gun makers. Now, we can assume, hold on, the U.S. is the top exporter of small arms with more than 25 million weapons shipped abroad since 1889. So, obviously, guns from the early I would always just say the 40s and earlier are probably not going to be in there. You're still talking about probably hundreds of millions of guns in this country. And hey, Abby, uh, and you're not going to be able to ban all of them. It's not possible. It's just not possible. It's not reasonable for it to be possible. So what do you do then? You take what you have out there already, and you try to regulate it more. So Mucho Taco, I made the decision that I'm not going to call them by their name at all. I'm going to just refer to them as the shooter because let's not give them any more press than they deserve. I guess I chose not to show a picture of Audrey, and I kind of in my last videos, because I'm trying to not misgender anybody, and it's not to give respect to her, it's to give respect to the trans community. I have no respect, or to them. I have no respect for Audrey Hale or Aiden or whatever name they go by. I don't know if Aiden's confirmed, so I'm not trying to like just brush it off. I just don't know if it's true. But we know the name Audrey Hale is a correct name at some point in time. So um, I'm trying to not say that name anymore on any of the videos. At least, I'm doing this right now for the sake of this discussion. But let's just refer to them as the shooter. The problem is with every time we get these mass shooting events, we show a picture of the shooter, we show their names and everything like that, and they get some kind of glory, even if it's not positive, it's infamous type stuff. And I'm just not doing it anymore. I'm just not. But yes, but I have the name that I know of, though, to answer your question in a very long about way, is Audrey Hale is the name that I know. So yeah, I got you. I got you. What I'm saying. I just wanted to kind of clarify that. I got you. Um, Ashley said 7 guns. Absolutely. Yeah. So the shooter had 7 firearms. They were purchased from 5 local gun shops here in the Nashville area. She was hiding them at her parents' house. Her parents thought that she had one and that she sold it. They were wrong, and that was it. So yeah, they were all local, all legally obtained. And in Tennessee, even if she had been reported as having mental health challenges, which she was not to any type of database, even though she was under the care for a doctor, there's no laws in Tennessee that would allow the police to take those firearms away. They'd have to run through a court system to try to be able to do that. Tiffany says, I own a gun, but there are 0 reasons to have an assault weapon. And the Second Amendment was not intended for average Joe to have an assault weapon. Drives me nuts. So, Tiffany, you're 100% correct. When the Constitution was written, we were all using single shot muskets that you had to load. The playing field was very level. Now it's not very level. I hate the well armed militia thing because here's the deal. And if a lot of y'all have probably heard me talk about this before, where the technology is at on weapons, military grade weapons, they don't have to even be near you. You could be a couple thousand miles away, and they can aim an unmanned drone at you, and you could be gone before before you could even say your name. And an AR-15 is not going to stand up to that. It's not going to stand up to tanks. It's not going to stand up to surface to air missiles. It's not going to tear to battleships, destroyers, bombs, missiles, etc. It's not going to stand up to any of that. So it's a really poor argument. Um, and here's the thing: Thomas Jefferson said the constitutions needed to be rewritten every 19 years or so, 17 or 19 years. Um, we've been using ours for like 276, 200, what, that's 43 years, 246 years old, or 246 years. We use the same one. It should have been amended a bunch of times or changed a bunch of times. And most countries do amend and change their constitutions. We do not. But really, it's just an excuse. Look, America likes guns. We have a love affair with guns. I get it. I have guns too. Okay, I will even say I have an AR. I have literally never shot it. Melissa Joan Hart had children at the school. Melissa Joan Hart lives in Nashville? Really? Is that true? I did not know that. I'm gonna Google that. Hold on. We all learn together here, guys. Let me look at this real quick. Holy shit, she is here. I didn't know about this. So she had kids there? I'm trying to read this real quick. Yeah, she's new. Her children attended a nearby school. Hey, Alyssa. I'm gonna tell her this real quick. She'll find this interesting. Hold on a second. All right. Anyways, sorry. Yeah, she didn't have it. She helped them escape. That's amazing. I want to go tell her this real quick. That's incredible. I'm not gonna make her come all the way up. You don't have to come all the way up. I just want to share something with you. She comes up. But she's on Banfield right now? Okay. I'm not gonna pull up Banfield tonight. I'm not feeling up for it. I wanna talk about this. My husband's 2 ARs are locked up, and he has shot them once ago. I've never shot mine. It's never had a round through it. Oh, you saw? Okay, you saw. Cool. Well, so that's cool, right? Well, I didn't know that. I didn't know that she lived here. I love Clarissa Explains It All. Not that this is the time for that conversation, but anyways. Um. So yeah. So now let's go back to have the gun discussion, which is what got me banned yesterday. Because people, I guess, get their feelings hurt when you have this discussion. Yeah, I was saying that she helped kids get to safety. It's awesome that she did that. She was in the area, and I mean, good for her. I didn't know that she was a Nashville. I didn't know that she was in Nashville. Apparently, she just moved here. So crazy. I don't know if you guys saw. I think I told you earlier in this live. Our governor's wife lost two of her best friends to it. I don't think that he'll do anything because Bill Lee doesn't really legislate anything unless it's an agenda of hate, like anything against the LGBT community. That's what he will legislate. Hold on, sorry, I'm getting a lot of things here. Did y'all see my video that I did on? I wish I could. I wish I had more of this stuff to get pulled up. Did y'all see the little girl Evelyn Deekhouse, how she died trying to, I think she got to the fire alarm, getting to the fire alarm to pull it to try to call for help. That little girl is an absolute hero. And the sad part about that whole thing is that no child should have to do something like that. Shawn Johnson, the Olympic gymnast, had her two kids in a nearby school. The videos yesterday were heartbreaking. I haven't seen those. Yeah, I didn't know that they lived in this area. I mean, that area is very, very wealthy. The area that this happened in. So I mean, I'm not surprised that celebrities do have their kids in school there. That doesn't surprise me. I don't know. It's just very sad. We let Victoria stay home today from her preschool. Yesterday when we went to pick her up, Alyssa was asking about safety measures because now, hey Max, this is just not. It's just guys. It's not a way to live. Like why is this okay for our children? This has been happening in increasing numbers since Columbine. If you're my and I said this in a video yesterday, but if you're my age or older, I was in high school when Columbine happened. And so, yeah, we experienced that one event, but it was a one at that time isolated event. And we got to deal with our whole school, K through 12, without having to worry about going and getting shot up. These kids have to go to school. Parents have to send their kids to school not knowing if they're going to come home that day. Yeah, kids should not be afraid to go to school. Yeah, Melanie, that breaks my heart. That just, I mean, it makes me want to cry. Like this whole thing, like I've been, like I'll admit it. I'm man enough to be able to admit it. I've been like on the verge of tears like all day, and I have teared up on some of it. It's. I don't want this, especially when you have a kid, it makes it that much worse. So yeah, I saw some of the pictures of the buses. And just the pure fear. That's not something. This is not something that children should have to do. And I'll tell you what I think is a good idea. And I've seen some people talk about it. I don't know how organized it is, but I would 1000% use my platform to help with this. What I think needs to happen at this point, because nobody's doing anything, but what makes people listen? What makes politicians listen? It kind of rhetorical. I will answer this question for you. You can feel free to answer if you want to, but it is money and votes. And if teachers were to make the decision to strike across the entire nation for a few days, if teachers made that decision, parents would not be able to go to work because you'd have kids at home. You could essentially, for the most part, shut down the entire country if teachers were to just strike for a few days. And then I think they would listen. Truckers do it, have done it, and they listen. I mean, teachers don't make that much money. Teachers go to school and they spend a lot of money and a lot of times get into student loan debt to learn to teach children to mold the future because they want to help children, because they love children, they like children, they want to um, better them. They don't go to school to shoot another child. And I know that this situation was an adult, but oftentimes it's somebody who goes to the school, a student who comes to do it. These teachers don't need arming the teachers is not and I know nobody said that in here, but arming the teachers is not an answer to this. Teachers didn't go to school. They're not police officers. They're not military. They're educators. Just saying, well, let's go ahead and arm the teachers. It's the dumbest shit, because here's the thing. You can own a gun. There's a big difference between owning a gun and having a gun and shooting a gun at a range, to being able to mentally make the decision to pull a trigger and take somebody's life. And I don't think a lot of people could do it, including teachers, especially teachers if it's another kid at the school. I had a preschool, I remember it was kindergarten preschool teacher comment on something yesterday that on one of my videos, and said that she knows that she can shield 3 to 4 of her students with her body. That's not something a teacher should have to say. Kids can't wear light up shoes to school because they might find them. My daughter has her little light up shoes. She loves them. There's a few things that I think that they could do to help solve these issues. Obviously, nothing is foolproof, but I think that there are a lot of things from increased restrictions on firearms, longer waiting periods, mental health evaluations, etc. Um, I think, Sarah, you are not reading the room on this. Um, if that was something that you were interested in, you were legit, you could email me, but this is not the time or the place. And bringing that in here can assure that I will not use you guys for anything, because this is not appropriate. For those of you who can't see the chat, that's what we're talking about. But no, I couldn't do it either. It shouldn't be that way. It didn't used to be that way. And teachers don't and the thing is teachers didn't get paid enough before this. So, I don't know. I don't know. On a lighter note, guys, there's actually a creator who just went live that I kind of just started following. I'm gonna go run into their live real quick while I'm not like just not gonna leave. I'm just looking. Um, Give me one second here. On a completely different note, I think I'm gonna hit 1 million people tonight. Give me one second here. I'm trying to look at something. Sorry, there we go. I was trying to look at see because this is an educator, verified educator who's talking about doing a mass, walkout. So, give me one second. Oh, give me one second, guys. I'm sorry. Anyways, maybe then they will give you your well-deserved check mark. Yeah, I mean, I would love to get my check mark, but they probably still won't though. Anyways, so yeah, I don't know how we should celebrate. I'm trying to get this creator's attention here for a second. Yeah. So this person, okay, I'll tell you what's going on. What I'm watching. This person is talking to the teachers unions, trying to help organize a strike. How did the shooter get into the school? They went to a side door and shot the door, and actually, that's how the custodian was killed. Is he was there, and the spray got him and killed him. Give me a second. Give me a second. Yeah, let me know how should we celebrate 1 million followers? Let's talk about something lighter for a minute. So, my daughter's organized a walkout when she was in high school over gun safety. I was so proud. That's amazing. We did that after Columbine. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I agree with that. I support the teachers too. The school's really, I mean, the school's been a very nice area. This person does not look at her screen. Yeah, like at all. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I know. Screw truancy. I'm not gonna send my why like why you know what, Alyssa, let's talk about this. I'm putting your comment up. Let's get a little heated for a minute. Okay. I'm gonna turn this down because they're not this person's listening. I'm gonna go out. Um, let's talk about this. When I've talked about, don't take your sick kids to school, I've heard all about the truancy problems that we have and that parents are going to get letters, they're going to threaten to call CPS, etc. Why should I send my kid to school? My kid's not at, K through 12 age yet, but why should I send my kid? Why should any parent send their kid to school when those schools cannot keep those children safe? So I agree. Screw truancy. Maybe you can come at me with truancy or something else when you can learn how to keep children safe because this happens so much. Yeah, go, Cassie. There's a new response to you. You know what? Until say, I would just basically tell them, screw you until you are, I'm trying to keep it PG tonight, so YouTube doesn't put like a warning, but they probably will with the topic anyways. But no, but just be like, fuck you. You can't keep my kids safe. So if they need to stay out an extra day, oh well. They can't keep kids safe. It's been proven over and over. And here's the thing too. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this situation for a second. If you have a kid, if the shooter is a kid that goes to the school, obviously this thing that happened in Nashville yesterday, so the shooter was a former student, but not for a very long time, given that it was an elementary school. But a lot of times it is a peer of the kids at that school, which means that that person goes through the same exact drills, active shooter drills, that the rest of the kids do, meaning that that shooter knows exactly how things are going to go down and play out. So how is that beneficial? I would rather risk going to jail than have my kid get killed at school. What, for an education that we're like 25th in the world or something like that? Or I don't even know if we're that, I don't think we're that high. That we're very low as far as, first world countries in education. What, so we get a half-ass education and then they can get killed on top of that? Yeah, on a normal day, you worry about your kids, but with all these shoes, I don't know how you deal with it. Yeah, I don't know. Alyssa and I have been talking. Like, okay, I'll just share it with y'all. We have legit been at the beginning stages of talking about leaving the country because I don't. This is not the world I want for my daughter, and our legislators are doing nothing about it. And if you want to know something else, hold on. And if you want to know something else, there was a. Let me see if I can get this. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this pulled up. I want to show you all this if I can get it pulled up. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm trying to find this for y'all. Here it is. Let me get this pulled up for y'all. I want y'all to see this. This is important. Okay. This is important. So I want y'all to see this. All right. Let me get this pulled up here. Hmm. Yeah, it's fine, Google. You're good. I don't want to use my password. Later. Later, Google. All right. So let me see if I can show this window. Here's this one, the one that I want to do. Not now. I don't want that now. Okay. I got it. There we go. This, share. Here we go. So recently, this was dated March 27th. So this was actually yesterday that this came out. I don't know when this vote happened. This was posted yesterday. I don't know when it came out. But um, this was a vote to expand mental health services, school-based mental health services, to expand it. Um, I asked Justin, Prime Minister, how I can get citizenship. Still waiting on the response. Yeah. Um, but you can see the votes. So you have the Democrats, you had 219 say yes, one Republican said yes, and 205 voted no. Like, I don't look, I don't give y'all my political leanings, but I will give y'all facts when facts are facts. These are facts. This is the vote. This is what it is. So mental health is a problem. Guns are a problem. And for everyone to say the guns aren't the problem, it's mental health. Well, here you go. Here's an opportunity to expand mental health services into public schools. And you have a lot of lawmakers voting no. So should we talk about this? Okay, this was in September. Thank you, Lissa. I mean, I'm gonna just let you guys like stew on that for a minute, like mull it over. Canada's also going to give benefits for families make less than 90K a year. That's great. I just look. Here's the thing. I just want to be able to send my child to school and not have to worry that she's not going to come home. I would not look. I'm just gonna say if something happened to Victoria, I would not be able to survive. I would not survive. I don't know, Dina. I think that you would need to get. You can. So when these types of things happen, you know what you see. It's the U.S. House, so you know it's the House of Representatives. You see that it was for school-based mental health services. You can see that. So I'm sure that you could pull a list of. Um, I'm sure that you could pull your a list of the representatives, the legislators that voted in how they voted. You can see that there were 2 Democrats that didn't vote and 6 Republicans that didn't vote, for a total of 8. That could have been they abstained, or that could have been they just weren't there to vote. That's very possible. Um, but you can find out who the lawmakers are that voted against it, and you can reach out to them and ask them why. I can't tell you the reason why. So, L, what I'm hearing is that your representative is probably in this list of the nays, is what I'm hearing. Um, we build prisons to lock people in, but don't build schools to keep violent offenders out until we build protection for our children, like we do government buildings. Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, we shouldn't have to do that. That's the point. I know that public schools depend on attendance for funding, but it has to be safe for everyone. Agreed. Yeah, Tiffany, you're 100% right. The babies only matter when they're in the womb. With a lot of these, because the same people who are screaming, we don't want to do anything to, or we don't want to change anything about gun rights, are the same people that are bitching about abortion. And most of the time, those are white men, by the way, just so you're aware. White men who have never had a baby themselves, but have lots of opinions on the matter. So, anyways, it is these things are all terrible. And there's and I will say this too, and I'm not going to talk about it tonight. I need to get past. I need to get not say past this because I need to get through this, and then there's been some new stuff on Coburger that I want to talk about, but as of right now, I am just not really in the mood to do that. So, hold on a second. Sorry about that. All right. Sorry. What a sad state of affairs we're in. Yes. So I'll take this down. Y'all have looked at this enough, but yeah. So what would y'all like to know that I can share with you at this point? It can be about this. It can be something more lighthearted. Y'all tell me. We shouldn't have to. Yep, Shannon, you speak a lot of truths. I'm just gonna put it up there so people can read it. You speak a lot of truth. Oh, yeah, we can talk about the teammate. Sorry, I meant to do this. Yeah, we can talk about the teammate in a second. We shouldn't have to, but the reality is that there are more weapons and mental health issues than we can improve fast enough to risk more innocent lives. That's true. Ships like this turn slowly, but there are things that can be done, and it needs to truly needs to be done at a federal level. And I don't know, we've never really had that much legislation with it. So I think that we need a lot more legislation. I think, here's the thing, and people, and I'll give you all another one. One of the other rhetoric that I've heard and seen probably 50 times on my post today is, cars, when cars kill people, we don't ban the cars. Well, cars and guns, it's like comparing apples to parrots. Cars were designed to get somebody from point A to point B. They weren't designed to be weapons against people. Um, whereas guns were designed with one purpose, and that's to kill someone. I'm gonna come back to you, L. I promise you. Guns were designed to kill people. So at the same time, with a car, um, yeah, I'm getting very, very close to a million. I'm at actually, I'll tell you exactly where I'm at. I'm at 994.2 as we speak. For TikTok to probably take it away, and for them to ban TikTok and me lose all of it. Nevertheless, um, I agree with what you're saying, Sharon. That's the point to that. Is the point. Um, can we talk about why the shooter chose that message to the teammate? Oh yeah, sorry to the car. I never finished my thought. 80. Whew, okay, come back to that. Yeah, so with cars, when you want to get your license, you have to get your learner's permit for a year. Okay, which means you have to be supervised when you drive to make sure that you are safe. Then at 16, you can get your license. To get that license, you have to take a test. You have to make sure that your eyes are good. Then you have to take a driving test and a written test. And then you're issued a license. And once you're issued that license, you can drive a car. Now, if you own that car, you have to purchase the car like you would a handgun. You have to register that car in that state and pay taxes on it every single year. And you have to have insurance on that car. Oh, thank you, Melanie. So it's really on top of that, there are a lot of regulations as Karen just said, we've done a lot to make driving safer, right? You have speed limits. You used to not have to wear your seatbelts. Now you have to wear your seatbelt. You have certain traffic laws that you have to obey, signs, etc. So and you have to, yeah, and you have to renew your license every so often. Exactly. So maybe for people who want a gun, it should become a federal thing where you have to, um, obviously, a learner's permit type thing. You could only shoot it at a fire, at a range. It has to, I don't know what the situation is with keeping it, but then you don't get that license to have it until you can pass a written test and a probably a mental health test and a practical test like where you go shoot in front of instructors. Then once you get it, you have to register it with the state, pay taxes on it every year, renew that license, every so often, and maybe I don't know what the equivalent of insurance you get. Why couldn't you do that? That would be a method that you could do to not take away the right, but to make it safer, make it hard, more difficult to obtain, make the process take longer. Like, why couldn't we do that? Because right now there's essentially no waiting period, like at all. So, anyways, so that's your argument for when people say, "Oh, we haven't banned cars." Yeah, that's the truth too. If you abuse the rules, you have consequences, including losing your license, including points on your license, which causes your insurance to go up. So maybe if you do certain things like, hey, you wave your gun at a party for whatever reason, and you get caught with that, you have much higher taxes to pay that next year, or you lose that gun for a period of time until you have to retake a course. But, like I said, I own guns. I own an AR, and I have no problem with any of these rules. I have, they're saying that they're being controlled and that their rights can't be infringed on in any ways, which is absolutely ridiculous. I agree. But here's the fun part about it, Melanie. None of us, we're all being controlled. Think about that. I mean, again, that's where the discussion comes in. To have this blanket, this is my right, it's a Second Amendment right, they can't take it. First of all, most of them don't know anything about what the Constitution actually says. Did you know? So in Tennessee, when I got my concealed carry permit, and I don't really care. Very rare that I carry, because it's a pain in the ass. But like right after I got it, they abolished the need for a concealed carry permit. So now it used to be that like for Tennessee, I have to go through a test. I could take a course online. It was not never like one that I actually had to go shoot at, but I had to take a course online. You could take it in person, and I had to get a license for it. Then they just like, fuck it, we don't need licenses. So These are all great points. Are variable factors, mental health that can happen anytime, and often resources cannot protect innocent lives when that happens quickly. I agree, Shannon. But think about this: this woman had 7 guns. Okay, now if this was something that she was thinking about, you know, and planning out, you're probably not going to stop her. But how many guns do you need to buy before it sets off a red flag that, hey, maybe, not that you can't buy them, but maybe we should look into this and see what's going on? Why is this person buying so many guns? Cassie, I mean, you're not wrong because law, yeah, you're not wrong. But here's the thing: one of the other arguments that people say are, well, they'll just get illegal, they'll get guns illegally. They'll get guns illegally. How? Can anybody in here tell me how you would go if you had to go get a gun illegally right now? How would you go do it? You had to go find an illegal one. How would you do it? I like to think that I'm a fairly intelligent individual, and I like to think that I know things about things. I would have not have the foggiest idea how to go obtain an illegal firearm. I wouldn't know where to go, who to talk to, and if I did just do it randomly, I'm quite sure the person would think that I was a cop snooping around. So, like, how do you do that? Yeah, Tiffany, that is scary. So, yeah. But maybe if you're like, hey, you bought 3 guns in 6 months, let's have a conversation. Uh, let's have a mental health evaluation. Maybe it would prevent something like that. Sorry, I'm getting tired. But yeah, how do you go buy one? Nobody here has been able to tell me yet. I don't know how to go get one. So my point is that somebody like the shooter in yesterday's event, they're not going to know how to get one either. They said it was a good guy with a gun scenario. Yeah, they do say that. But so you know what? Here's where you end that conversation. Uvalde. You had a whole bunch of good guys with guns. The people who are getting them illegally don't think like you and I do. But the point is your average person, first time criminal like the shooter yesterday, they're not going to know how to get one illegally either. The people who know how to get illegal guns are people who do really illicit shit. Families should have the right to commit for a 90-hour hold, especially if it's in Arkansas. They passed the law that minors can take guns into their schools. Jesus Christ, that's horrible. I'm gonna Google it. I don't Not that I don't believe you. I just want to see it. All right, that's spelled Arkansas. There we go. Arkansas. I believe you. I haven't seen it yet, but I will do some more research. And I totally believe you. I totally believe you. I just think I'm not probably wording it correctly. I'm going to start looking for it and see if I can find it. If so, if I can find information on it, I'll do a video on it as well. So, so listen, you saw it. I haven't. I can't find it. So if you see the article, if somebody wants to send it to me, that would be great because that is terrifying. Yeah, there should be a federal database. It shouldn't become a state thing. And I mean, so there are certain states that you don't have to register guns at all. Georgia, when I bought some of mine in Georgia, and I didn't have to register any of them. I don't know if I bought any since I've lived. Oh yeah, I did. I bought the AR since I've lived in Tennessee. I didn't have to register that. But it should go to some kind of a database. Toddlers are allowed to carry in Missouri. Geez, like that's a problem. So you had that one representative today, that Ogle, who had the Christmas card. I forget who it was. Who had the Christmas card where they're all posing with guns, and he's like, "I don't regret that. I don't regret a Christmas card exercising my First or Second Amendment rights." But these lawmakers have no problem trying to ban First Amendment rights, like TikTok, where we can all speak freely with each other. Um, so the hypocrisy, guys. Oh, the hypocrisy. Zero registration in Texas. Yeah, I think I bought a firearm in Texas too, and there was no registration there either. I agree. I think that that's the case. So yeah, Tennessee, Georgia, Texas, none of them. So I think there needs to be a federal database. Fine. You know what? you can have them. It's We're not gonna take them away, but you're gonna register them. And if you find, and make it, and if ever you find out that you have a gun that's not registered, make it a felony, $10,000 fine, minimum 3 years in prison. Do that. Yes, until my account gets taken down. Fair enough. Right now, though, it says I am in good standing, minus my little ban that I got right now. Um. So, anyways, I digress. I'm gonna do this for a few more minutes, and then I'm probably gonna call it. Emotionally and mentally just beat, but I do think we are gonna hit a million, probably fairly. Oh, actually, I just saw it when I pulled it when I was looking for things. Missouri Republicans vote to affirm toddlers' right to carry firearms in the street. Uh, yeah, then we'll be doing some issue. We'll be doing some. We'll be doing some videos. My ban. So I'm not banned from posting videos. I'm just banned from live, and it is until the 31st. Well, I'm going to say really the 30th, at midnight, because it says basically 31st at 12 o'clock a.m., which is technically the 30th at 12 o'clock a.m. So basically, I can be back on the 31st. We can say goodnight with something positive. What do we want to talk about that's positive? Yeah, I have no problem. But here's the thing, Tiffany. They think that they're going to think that if you have to register that weapon, that's the government's way of keeping track of where you are. Not that the government doesn't already know where you are. Yes, toddlers. It is toddlers. There you go. Hold on one second. Anything I'll tell you, I'm gonna we'll go talk about it. Go away. Um, the Republican-controlled Missouri House of Representatives. This was dated February 9th of this year. The Republican-controlled Missouri House of Representatives rejected a proposal Wednesday that would have banned children from being able to openly carry firearms in public on public land without adult supervision. It was defeated of a vote of 104 to 39, with just one Republican voting in support of the ban. Basically, it says that. See what it says, but yeah, so children apparently, and I guess that goes down to they're saying toddlers. I don't see the specific age, but I would imagine doesn't appear that there is any specific age. So it could be like an 8-year-old. Okay, so yeah, that's real. That's 100%. Real. Melanie, half the adults don't know about guns. Did I see the planet? No, I didn't. That would have been awesome. No, I didn't though. Yeah, I mean I'm in Tennessee, Tiffany, so I get it. Our Nashville, not our mayor, but Nashville's mayor, um, came out today with a good speech. So the grandparents uh, of one of the victims. Alyssa and I have not been to church since pre-pandemic, but go to the church uh, that we did do go to. What bill is that? Let me go back and look. Hold on, I'll try to give you a bill number. Um, Bear with me one second, 'cause I did see it. It's HB House Bill HB 301, and they voted that down. So HB 301. We have to register houses, cars, boats, earnings, etc. So why are we not requiring more from gun owners? Yes, we are a 2A loving family, but we'll do anything to protect our children. Tasha, I agree with you. I think a lot of Americans, we enjoy our guns, but I don't want to enjoy guns. And this is what I've said before. And people can think that I'm extreme, and that's fine. If the cost of if children not having to die at the hands of a gun anymore was that I had to give up my guns, I would do it. No questions asked. Well, basically, it was an amendment, and the amendment failed. So yes, it basically kept. So yeah, the amendment failed. So you'd have to read into it a little bit more. You guys saw how much I learned about it just now. Um, so y'all, none of us are okay out here, guys. None of us are okay out here. We're all in the bad place, guys. America is a dumpster fire. Y'all, I'm gonna be doing a video really soon, and I cannot wait. And it's not the time right now, but it's gonna give y'all some stats. I'm duetting it because there's no way I could do this video better than this creator did. So this creator deserves 100% of the credit. But yeah, North Carolina, something's happening where counties are going to have two representatives rather than one. Yeah, I've heard that in North Carolina, there's been a lot of issues with gerrymandering lately, and I know that they've been kind of fighting with that. I haven't really kept up with it, but all right, guys. I think I'm gonna call it. I'm tired. But for those of you who came in late, if you want to see this live, the nice thing about YouTube is that, um, yeah, I remember seeing the thing about Moore versus Harper too. Yeah, yeah. Well, all the southern states are giving others bad idea. You know what I think is going to happen though, honestly. So I don't know if y'all were in my lives last night on TikTok, and I think that's one thing that got me banned. I was just giving kind of what looks like it because, again, I'm in Tennessee, so I can speak about what's going on in this state. Governor Ron DeSantis is going to be up here, what, next week or the week after, with Bill Lee, and it sure as hell is with our Governor Bill Lee, and it sure as hell is looking like it's going to be a presidential bid. So, um, with Bill Lee on a Ron DeSantis ticket. So, anyways, we'll see how that goes. But he's coming to Tennessee. Anyways, yep, I'm gonna go take a mental break. This particular, I cover a lot of, interesting cases. We'll say interesting, but when it's something like this in your own community, it really hits differently. I just said there is Coburger news. I haven't really gotten into it because I've been focused on this, but I will get back to it soon. I promise. So, all right, you guys have a good night, and I will talk to y'all again soon.